Good afternoon on this lovely Sunday afternoon. A little bit chilly here in Australia at the moment, but nonetheless, it's a nice, crisp, sunny day. Stopped raining for a while, which is actually great. We've had a lot of rain lately. Anyway, hello again. I'm Michael Scarbossa, and welcome back to my segment on save, invest, and grow your money. So today, one of the things I want to focus on is something that we're all starting to experience at the moment. So we're really starting to feel it, or experience that pinch of inflation at the moment. Some dramatic increases in the cost of living, and in particular, soaring energy costs. We've all seen it. The fuel bows of the last few months. Fuel prices have gone through the roof. It's costing us a fortune to fill up our cars. And if you've been listening to the news lately, you would be familiar, or you wouldn't be surprised that there is intending energy increases coming in the start of the next financial year, which is July. So that's only a few weeks away. So with winter well and truly now here in Australia, it's actually not great timing that our power bill and gas bills are going to go up. So, with that in mind, I thought what I would do today, it was just a good time to share some tips on dealing with those increasing energy costs, and hopefully grab yourself some savings in the process. So, the key thing I'm going to share today, and I'll share screen in a moment, and there's a really good government website called Energy Made Easy. And this is a great website put up by the government. It basically compares all of the energy plans that are out there from all the retail providers. You can put in some details about your energy consumption and what that looks like. Upload your bills, it compares that, and it finds the best deals for you. So if you haven't looked at your energy bill for some time, and I know I haven't looked at mine for about 18 months, and I've actually done this yesterday. I've had a look at this just to check things out. But I know many people, they're with their energy provider and they're with them for a long time, 2, 3, 4, 5 years. If you haven't moved, it's not often people change their energy bills. So it's probably a really good time to have a look at that, because there might be some good savings that you're leaving on the table. So anyway, I'll just share this screen and I'll take you through this website, just give you a quick walkthrough, and see if we can get you saving some money. So let me share screen here. All right. Okay. All right, so we should be sharing screen now, and this is the government website, Energy Made Easy. So you can see here www.energymadeeasy.gov.au. It's an Australian government website. So this is something the government has put together for all of us, which is excellent. So I'll just scroll down here and I'll quickly go through this. So pretty simple. What's the right energy plan for you? What are you looking for? Do you have electricity and gas in your house? If you do, I would suggest bundle it, because usually you get discounts for bundling those services. But I'll just quickly do an example on my property because of where I live, because I don't have gas in my house. I only have electricity. So I'll just quickly select electricity, and then it's asked where your postcode is. You can see I've already been there. Manly, Queensland, that's where I live. And we just hit get started. So what it does, it starts to take you through a few questions about your household and your usage. My household, it's me and my wife, 2 kids, a couple of dogs. I won't count them. So let's just say 4 to 5 people. And then you start to talk about your energy usage. So with me, I'm going to upload PDFs of my bill, and this is the best way to do it. So if you click on that, it quickly asks you a couple of questions. Your electricity usage, do you have a smart meter? I believe yes, I do, but let's just click not sure, because most people probably don't know if they do or they don't. And then you click upload my bill. Now, what I did to save a bit of time, I've already done that. So if I just click over this next tab, you can see we're there. There's all my bills. They're all ready to go. So now it's like anything. And if we just click on this little thing here, why provide your energy usage to Energy Made Easy? It's like anything, right? So if you're using a tool, if you put garbage into it, you're going to get garbage out of it. So the more detail that you can give the tool about your actual energy habits or your energy usage habits, the closer the comparison tool is going to be for you. If you just don't put any data in, it's not going to give you such an accurate prediction of your energy costs. So, and I'll touch on that again in a bit in a moment. So, if you just click on this, why provide it? It basically says that personalized service, so we can get you a better estimate on your get a better price estimate on your energy. So there you go. So you put all that detail in, um, read and understand the terms and conditions. It's all fairly general. Have a click on that, have a read. It's always worthwhile. Click yes and compare energy plans. And this is what it comes up with. When it gets there, a bit slow. And here we go. So what it's got here, it asks you a few questions about what's important to you. So if I just click on this plus here, there is a whole bunch of filters that you can choose. So I'm just going to stick with the default filters here because I want to see all discounts. I'm not too bothered about restricting myself on fees. I want to get the breadth of all the plans that are available to me. What are all the different payment types? What are all the contract terms? If there's any of these things that are really dear to you, then you can choose them, but it may restrict you on getting the best plan. And controlled load. So if you have a look on your bill, there'll usually be two rates. There'll be an all-time rate and a controlled load rate. You'll see that on there. Most people have it. Click that because that will be reflective. I'm not going to change any of these things, so we'll just leave those filters as they are. And it starts to come up a whole heap of plans. Here we go. There's Alinta Energy, $14.50 a year. It's estimated. Origin's the same, and it just goes on and on and on and on and on. And there's loads and loads and loads. You can click show more plans, and it keeps going. Now, what I can tell you is I've not actually made any change to my energy bills, and I'll tell you why. I've been with Alinta Energy for about a year and a half now, and I've been on this exact deal, this single rate, this particular deal here. And it says it estimated about $14.50 a month. Well, I added up my four bills over the last year, and it was $1,500. So it's actually not too far off the mark, just to give you a bit of an indication. But you can go into this. You can click compare all the plans, so you can compare up to three. So let's just pick the first three. Let's compare those. You can see they're all pretty close on their energy spendage. You can see there's different options here. If you've got solar on your roof, that's one of the things you'll have to go back to the filters to make sure you select solar so you get the right deal for you. I don't have solar, so I don't have to worry about that. And there's all these bits and pieces in here, and you can compare and decide what you do like and what you don't like, particularly if the estimate is pretty close. And of course, you can go in and you can get more data on that. So if you go in there, there's even more data. There's the plan ID. If you're going to change providers, you will need to know that plan ID. Okay, so you ring up, just say you want to change to Alinta. I'm not endorsing Alinta in any way at all. It's just who I'm currently with. Call up Alinta, go, I've been on the Energy Made Easy website. This is the plan that I found, and start from there and talk to them. They'll take you through the process. Any of the energy providers will take you through that resale process. So there you go. What I'll do is I'll just quickly show you if you just decide, oh no, I don't want to put any of my data in there. I'm a little bit worried about that. So if you just say continue with no bill or no metered data, it's a whole bunch of questions here. Do you have a controlled load? Most people do. It'll be on your bill. So let's just say yes. Do you have solar panels? I don't. So I'm going to say no. I don't have a pool either. But if you do, say yes. Do you have a smart meter? Well, let's just say not sure, because I know most people probably don't have a clue, and most people don't have a smart meter anyway. And who's your retailer? Well, I know my retailer is Alinta. So if we click understood the terms and conditions, compare energy plans, and you'll see that the pricing is quite different when this comes up. So just wait for that to load. And here we go. Now you can see the difference. I'll just click back. Using my bills and my actual usage, it was $14.50 a year estimated. without using my bill, and just it'll just be going on the averages for your community and the suburb you live, for the number of people you have in your household. 1810. So that's actually quite a difference. That's $360. No, $360. It's be much better in my pocket. I know that's it's just comparing the if you don't put the right data in, it's not so accurate. But this could also be an example if you haven't looked at your electricity bill for some time, over a long time, challenge your provider, then maybe you're paying a bit more than you need to as well. So that's just an example of why you should actually go to the effort and put in the extra data. So um, there you go. So this is a pretty good website. This has lots of detail on here. I'll just go to another tab here. Um, this, if when you first log into the website, this is the first page that you see. You can come through here, and one of the key things here is, can you switch me to a new plan? So that's a really good link to go into. There's a checklist there on switching, and it goes through, and there's some detail here on switching checklist. What happens next? Few other bits and pieces here around plans. It's actually worthwhile just spending a little bit of time having a read of that and just understanding your energy bill a little bit more. Here what happens next. You need to ring the retailer. They want the name of the plan and that plan ID. So that's what I spoke about before. Name of plan and plan ID. There you go. So they're the two things that you're going to need. So the other thing about this website that is quite good as well, so I'll just go back to that homepage. There's a couple of things up here that you can educate yourself on, learn a bit more about your bills, but controlling your costs. So another way to attack your energy expenditure is just how much are you using it. So this one here, save money by reducing energy use. You can go in there and have a look. There's a whole bunch of suggestions, but the simple things for me is if you're not in a room, and why does the light need to be on? Turn the lights off if you're not using them. Turn the fans off if you're not using them. Just be a little bit energy conscious. Do you need every light on in your house? Like, um, I've got a rental property next door to me, and okay, that changes over time with the people that are in there. The people there at the moment are quite good. The people in there before, it was like it was an alien spaceship was landing every evening. They had every light on to like 1 a.m. It was just ridiculous. Their energy bill must have been through the roof. Now, I know lights aren't the most expensive thing to run, but hey, it all adds up. Plus, the other thing, if you've got older appliances in your house, you might want to have a look at going down to your local or having a look online, or going down to your local appliance center and just having a look at some of the energy ratings, because there's some pretty big savings to be had these days with new energy efficient appliances. So, all right, so that's the Australian government energy made easy tool to help you with your managing your energy costs. So I hope you find that really useful, and I really do hope that there's a few $100 savings in there for you. So. All right. So the other thing that I'll share with you is something that I do to save fuel. Um, and what I will do is, I don't quite have the details here, so I'm just going to stop that screen share. All right. So I've got a real simple plan that I do to save fuel, and I don't use a lot of fuel in our household because we don't do a lot of big trips. We drive locally. My wife works from home. When I work in the city, I usually take the train, so we don't actually do a whole lot of driving. But we still probably fill up maybe once every 3 weeks. A lot of other people would be filling up multiple times a week, or every week at least. But the thing that I do to help me save a bit of fuel is I downloaded an app to my phone. The app that I use is Petrol Spy Australia. You can go and find that app. I'm not endorsing it, but it's just one that I've downloaded some time ago and that I use. There's a whole bunch of other apps in there that are similar. They're just basically fuel pricing apps. And when you go into these apps, there's some really good features. So if you open up the app, I'll talk about Petrol Spy because that's the one that I know. It'll bring up a map of your local area. Your phone knows where you are. It'll bring up all the fuel stations around where you live. It'll have all the current prices on there, and they're mostly current. Sometimes they probably a day or two out, but they're usually pretty close to current. So you can see all around, where the cheapest fuel stations are and all the rest of it. But one of the good tools on these apps and this particular app, there's a little graph in it. So you can click on the graph icon, and what that graph icon it brings up, and you can select any of the major capital cities in Australia. I live in Brisbane, so I'll select Brisbane, and brings up this little graph on what the fuel price has done over the last couple of months. And when you look at that graph, it's been a little bit chaotic lately, but there's still a fairly strong pattern there. But there's usually a pattern. It oscillates. The fuel price oscillates every 4 to 6 weeks, and it's around about 40 cents that it oscillates. I know that the range goes up and down, but that range is usually around 30 to 40 cents. So we all know it. You're driving around in your car, you sort of think, oh, fuel's looking a bit cheaper at the moment. I should fill up in the next couple of days. I'm getting low. And then you wake up the next day and you go out, and then you notice that fuel's jumped 40 cents and you still need to fill up in a couple of days. So for most of us, we've probably got a fuel tank of around 50 liters. That 40 cents jump's going to cost us an extra $20 on a tank of fuel. It's 20 bucks that I'd rather spend on something else than fuel. I'm sure you would as well. So what I do is I use that cycle and I look at it. I go, okay, well, I'm aware of the fuel prices, and when I see it coming down, I'll go into the graph every so often and go, okay, does it look like it's getting close to the end of the cycle? And if it's getting close to the end of the cycle and I need to fill up, great. If it's getting close to the end of the cycle and I don't need to fill up, then sometimes I just fill up anyway, just top up. But there's also another app that I use to sort of stretch that out a little bit. So if I think it's right near the bottom of that fuel cycle, I've still got a lot of fuel in my tank. I've downloaded the 7-Eleven app. Now, 7-Eleven service stations are pretty common around Australia, particularly here in Brisbane. Same thing, you can click on that app. It's got a little feature in there called Fuel Lock. It brings up all the local 7-Eleven service stations in your area. You can click on Fuel Lock. It'll find the cheapest price out of all the 7-Elevens. Lock that price in for a week. Now, if the fuel goes up 40 cents tomorrow, you've still got that bargain price locked in for another week, as long as you go to a 7-Eleven and fill up and use your app. So how great is that? You do that 10, 12 times a year, you're saving $200-300. So that's pretty good to keep in your pocket as well. Now, I know it doesn't sound a lot, but it all helps. It all helps. How many times do you wish you just had an extra couple of $100 to buy something, or to pay off a credit card or something like that? So it's just a few little disciplines around managing your spending effectively. It's a great habit to get into, and I encourage you to do it, because if you do it on this with these particular things, you'll do it with other things. Okay. Now, if you do end up manage saving a few $100s on your energy bills, plus a bit of savings on your fuel, don't take that cash and go and blow it. Actually do something meaningful with it towards your financial well-being. I really encourage you to do that. So, just create some margin in your money. If you're someone that's been struggling with a bit of credit card debt or personal loans that you don't like, if you don't pay your credit card off every month, or you got personal loans or even a car loan that's hanging out there, you want to get rid of that toxic consumer debt, because that's exactly what it is. You don't need it. You're paying more for your money than you really need to. You need to get rid of that. So I would really encourage taking those savings and putting it towards those debts and getting rid of those debts. Really good for your financial well-being. If you've already got that stuff under control, then redirect that into creating yourself a cash buffer. I really recommend, at least what's a good goal to start with, is trying to create a cash buffer that you've got set aside in a separate account that you don't access, of 3 months living expenses. So it just gives you that little bit of peace of mind, rather than living month to month, or not even quite getting there and loading up your credit card. On top of that, if you've got a 3-month cash buffer, great. Start putting a bit more towards your super. There's some very tax efficient savings to be had by putting a bit more towards your super over and above the compulsory employer contributions. I did a video on that last week. If you're interested in that, go have a look at the video I did on that last week. I'm sure you'll find that interesting. So I hope that's been some great tips that you can take advantage of today. I really hope you do get some savings out of that. If you haven't looked at your energy provider for a while, and it's probably a few years, it's time to go do it. I'll put the link for Energy Made Easy in the comments of this video, so it makes it really easy for you to go there. But it's energymadeeasy.com.au. Go there and have a look at your energy, and I really encourage you to change up your bill if it looks like there's savings to be had there. So I hope you found that really useful. Go and get some cash back in your pocket, and that's it from me. I'll catch you next time. See you later.